right, so for anybody that wants to have a 700 credit score in 7 months, follow these instructions. So I've done a little bit of research and I found that the Discover It secured credit card is the best credit card for anybody that wants to build their credit or has no credit starting from zero. So what you want to do is you always want to pay your credit card in full at the end of the month, right? You don't want to miss a payment or anything like that because that's an inquiry on your credit history. They send your payments to three of the biggest credit reporting services, which are Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You want to keep your utilization below 10%. So, for instance, with these secured credit cards, you're giving a deposit, and that deposit then tells you what you can spend each month. So, if your deposit is, so for instance, the Discover It secured credit card, the minimum deposit that you're allowed to have on that card is $200, meaning that that's the most that you can spend within a month. So you get then $200, right? And they keep that $200 until they upgrade you to, they look over your credentials and your payment history and then upgrade you to that unsecured credit card in roughly 7 months. Usually they do it around 7 months now. So you want to keep your utilization below 10%. What that means is that if your monthly spending limit is that $200, so you gave the credit card company for the credit card $200, you want to keep that below 10%. So you want to spend roughly $20 on it. But to even get a bigger boost in your credit score at the end of the 7 months, you want to keep your utilization below or somewhere between 1 and 3%. I've seen that 3% is the best. So for instance, let's say that you need to spend more than that that 1 to 3%. What you can do is that you can make a payment to in between the month before the end of the billing cycle to pay down that utilization to the 1 to 3%. So for instance, let's say you bought a product that's $20. You didn't have any means of buying anything that's within that 1 to 3 percentage. So you just spend it on that $20 item. So that was 10%, right? So that's $20. But that 3% would be $6 because 3% of 200 would be $6, meaning that you want to pay your credit card balance down to $6 before the end of the billing cycle. That then gives you a boost at the end of the 7 months when they look over your account history. After 6 months, if you have no credit history, you want to open an Experian account, and that gives you a boost on your credit also. So you can check your credit history and stuff and credit score. Credit Karma, it's free, but it really doesn't do too good because it's a variable. So like it'll be within 30 points within your actual score. And then let's say you have no credit. After 1 year, you want to apply. You then can apply for an actual credit card. And some of the credit cards that I watched the video and he said that the Chase Freedom Flex is really good, or the Chase Sapphire Preferred card is really good. And then you don't want to have, let's say you already have a credit card or you don't even have a credit card at all. You don't want to go and apply for a credit card, an unsecured credit card, so one where you don't have to put down a deposit because they're going to deny you and that's going to put a harder inquiry down on your credit history, meaning that you may go for the unsecured credit card, not get it, then have to go for the secured credit card. and then after 7 months they may upgrade you to that unsecured credit card. But even if you still have that hard inquiry, so it's going to be less points. So you're not gonna have like the maximum point advantage. So just stick to the Discover secured credit cards. And then after you have the secure credit card and you've had it for 7 months, they'll upgrade you to an actual credit card, and then after a year, so after those 7 months, you'll get a credit card. Usually it's within respects to the amount that you put into the usually it's your credit limit every month is to that balance that you gave them at the beginning of the month. So you're able to do it all the way up to $2,500. If you have $2,500, then do that $2,500, but keep the utilization rate between 1 and 3%, so $25 and $75. Now, if you already have, let's say, like good credit, or not even good credit, but let's say you have bad credit, you can still get a secured credit card. But let's say you have bad credit, you still want to be using those credit cards that you still have and utilize them between that 1 and 3%. So any credit card that you have, you don't want to just not use it because it does negatively affect your credit. The other thing that you can do is get a credit building loan. So what you do again is you give them a security deposit. So for instance, let's say the loan you want to be $2,000, right? So over the court in the term in months is 12 months. So over the course of 12 months, you'll pay back $2,000. So what you do is that security deposit goes into a bank account that you gave them. And then every month you would pay 1/12 plus interest and stuff, and maybe any other fees that they may have. The bank may have. Local banks are the best because they favor in helping people, whereas like larger banks are just more in profit making and quarterly. Big banks just really want to do good for their investors. But yes, you can get a credit building and a new credit building loan. So deposit goes into the bank account, and then over the course of 12 months, let's say it's a $2,000 loan, you're paying 1/12 of that $2,000. So it's going to be like like $180 a month that you're paying towards that loan. And at the end of the 12 months, or since your payment history, right, your payment history gets added on to, they report it to your credit, so you have more of a payment history on your credit. So after those 7 months or those 12 months, when that ends, you'll have like a way higher credit score, and also resistance to the fact that if you go and apply for another credit card, that hard inquiry is not going to affect you that much. So yeah, even if you're not going to like spend any money or have no interest in getting a credit card, get a secured credit card and just keep the utilization rate between 1 and 3%. And yeah, just do your own research. And yeah.